Bish Bash Cracker Jack are just some of the things that you can achieve with the sword and shield in Monster Hunter World. A very strong weapon offering unparalleled versatility. I'm Lighting Up Dan, and on this channel we cover action RPGs, roguelikes and MMOs, including a ton of Monster Hunter World. The sort of content I like to produce aims to reduce the overwhelm and the mystique of the game. If you haven't caught any of my event roundup videos, there's something there for everyone, at all stages of the game. A huge thank you for closing this gap and taking us to around 80% of viewers being unsubscribed on the channel. As the majority of you are returning, if you do enjoy the videos, do subscribe. And with that said, let's get to it. Sword and Shield is without a doubt one of the best weapons for beginners. And as mentioned right at the start, it has absolutely unparalleled versatility to it, allowing for unimpeded movement speed, quick usage of items, the option to block, albeit the worst one in the game, but still the option, whilst also having the capabilities to deal enough damage to be one of, if not the strongest weapon in the game. Super easy to pick up and play. Your core combo is repeatedly pressing the Y button to finish a combo string, starting with a quick chop if you're standing still, or an advancing slash if you are tilting the analog stick. This is a very high damage, fast combo string with about 5 or 6 hits. It can, however, be infinite looped by tilting your analog stick a little bit to the side, initiating the spiral slash attack, which lets you get right back into the combo. You can infinitely repeat this and be fantastic with this weapon. You'll deal a ton of damage and be really useful for you and your squad. There are also several attacks that you can do with the B button, and it works in a very modular fashion with the Y attacks. The key thing to note here is if you want to deal any stun damage, you can tilt your analog stick and start a combo string with the B button. There you'll do shield bash after shield bash, which focuses on KO damage. You can also switch into this early in the Y combo. Where things get really crazy with the sword and shield is you're able to do this back step. This is done by pressing backwards and B in relation to where you're facing, which you can hold down to power up the charged slash. Unleash this when you've fully charged red and you will do a very high damage jumping attack. Following this up with falling bash, the B button whilst you're in the air, will deal an absolute ton of damage. Pre-Iceborne, this was the way you dealt a lot of damage with the weapon, in addition to all of your fast high damage combos of course. Where it really shines is this new combo you can do called the Perfect Rush attack. Here when you've done the backstep and you're holding down B for your charged slash, whilst holding it down you press Y to do the leaping slash. This now initiates the Perfect Rush combo. You'll be planted in place and you'll be doing 3 different main attacks that are strings of combos. In order to get the perfect input timings to maximize your damage, press Y every time your character glows pinky red. You'll know when you've got the right timing, the glow kind of goes all over your body, and you will see this flurry of 3 combo strings which deals so much damage. The final hit against the monster will see you latch onto them and pull away with a big swing. If you're looking to maximize your DPS with the weapon, you're going to be looking to do the Perfect Rush combo as much as possible. Not only do the individual strikes of this weapon hit for a lot of damage by themselves, they're also so fast paced with a large volume of hits in a very short amount of time. You already know where I'm going with this. Owing to the weapon's large volume of hits in quick succession, it's a fantastic candidate for elemental damage. Using elemental weapons and then stacking additional elemental damage on top of them, and also taking critical element and true critical element into consideration, are fantastic ways to build out your sword and shield so that it really packs a punch. An elemental punch. It requires 2 clutch claw attacks to tenderize a part. However, after rolling you can press left trigger to do a claw uppercut. After landing this, your attack will instantly tenderize and let off some slinger ammo too. Best of both. This is also a fantastic way to reach airborne enemies that are otherwise annoyingly flapping about just out of reach. Get claw you-kenned, kid. The shield block is useful in a pinch, as it's almost always better to block it than it is to face roll the attack. Given it's such a weak guard, you'll almost always be knocked back as well. In terms of skills, I wouldn't really build it around the shield at all. I mean, you're welcome to if you want to, maybe with some offensive guard, maybe with guard, but that's an uphill battle and isn't focusing on what the weapon's really great for in my opinion. Instead, I'd be looking to boost damage everywhere you can. All the usuals come into play here of course: weakness exploit, challenger, critical eye, critical boost, and if you are using elemental, building up your elemental damage is going to be useful. And as mentioned previously, you can get the Velkhana armor for critical element, or the Silver Rathalos / Azure Age Alpha Plus armor for true critical element. Me, I'm pretty happy with Alatrail Alatreon gear to boost your overall elemental damage, but I do also know that critical element and true critical element absolutely pack a punch. See what works for you. Do also keep in mind that although elemental got a big boost for Iceborne, raw is still king in Monster Hunter World. So things like the Raging Brachy Sword and Shield are going to be absolutely excellent even though they're not elemental. Status build up sure, and blast is a very powerful status at that. But you take my point, the high raw is key here. With the quick mobility you're afforded, and the various attacks you can do which have maneuvering inbuilt into them, allowing you to quickly get in and out of situations to deal a little bit of damage and then jump back out. It's a fantastic hit and run weapon until you've got a better opportunity to plant yourself and do a big damage combo. Another thing that adds to the fluidity of the weapon is how you'll instantly use your tools. You'll just pop your health booster into the ground instead of unsheathing to then pop it into the ground, and it becomes this long-winded thing. Under the pressure of a difficult hunt, this can be the difference in carting or not. You can also use items from your guarding stance as well. You don't have to unsheath. This isn't always to your advantage if you want to sprint and heal though, and the sheath time of the weapon is super quick anyway without even any quick sheath. Another thing that adds to its survivability and makes it such a great choice. To give you a quick overview of some ones that you can go for which I think are really cool, a mixture of aesthetics and functionality. You've got the Ruin Energigante Ruinous Madness weapon with very high raw, white sharpness, dragon elemental and high elder seal. The Rathalos Tree Platinum Dawn, great raw, white sharpness, great affinity and very high fire elemental. The Frostfang Barrier Tree Silver Bosch, all of these weapons are absolutely phenomenal. Good raw, purple sharpness, good affinity and very high ice elemental. The Rathian Tree Lunatic Rose, for my goodness, that aesthetic. Great raw, white sharpness, decent affinity and high poison status build up. The Zinogre weapon on the Thunder Element tree, Despot's Crookbolt, looks absolutely stunning. Decent raw, white sharpness, no affinity and good Thunder Elemental. In terms of master rank entry level get up and go kind of weapons, I would highly recommend the Stygian Zinogre tree, a direct craft with good raw, purple sharpness, dragon elemental with average elder seal. Can't complain. Another fantastic entry into master rank would of course be the Guild Palace sword, and this goes to all Guild Palace weapons as well. Great raw, white sharpness, good affinity and a level 3 gem slot, as well as a defense bonus too. Then you've got the cream of the crop, the Fury's Rajang Tree Demon Lord Mace, fantastic raw, big chunk of purple sharpness, great affinity and a load of thunder elemental. The Raging Brachydios Tree Lightbreak Sword, some of the best raw in the game, purple sharpness, blast elemental and a level 4 and level 3 gem slot on it. Phenomenal. The upgraded Alatreon Star, great raw, massive purple sharpness, humongous amount of dragon elemental and a couple of level 2 gem slots as well. I don't see much point talking about the Fatalis weapons. They are the ultimate gear, so they're going to be good obviously. Have you tried Sword and Shield yourself? Are you thinking about it now after watching this? Do you have any additional tips I've not covered here? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and that way we can all learn from each other. As mentioned at the start, a massive thank you for bringing us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel. With the majority of you returning to the channel, if you enjoy the videos, do subscribe, and the Discord is open to all of you, so hop on over, get some hunts with myself and the squad. But until next time, I'll see you in the new world.